again with another video. This time is going to be a tutorial on how to convert your video formats to whatever format you want it to be so it can work into your editing software, whatever editing software you're using. So what we're going to do is get started on Windows. So let's get started right now. Here's Windows with Parallels on my Mac. Okay, and I'm going to open up the one that I have. It's a free one that I got. I got a free video converter, because a lot of ones that I've been coming across, especially for Windows, the ones that I've been coming across, they're like, they want you to pay for them, and they don't really do the job, because I played around with them in a trial version, and they didn't get the job done the way that I wanted them to get it done, put it into the format that I wanted it to be. So what I did was I kept searching and searching, and I came across a website that actually had some posted with free ones on there. So I had different free ones on there, and this is the one that I tried, and it works so good. It works pretty good right here, and which is this one right here, Super Converter right here, and it's a really good. It's by eWriteSoft. It's really good for Windows. The one that I use a lot, which is the one that I like, the one for Mac, I use MPEG Streamclip. That's the one that I use because I have a Mac and I do most of my editing on there. So I use MPEG Streamclip to do most of my work and everything. And this does pretty much similar to what MPEG Streamclip does a little bit. So I think this has a tad bit more features, a little bit, but not too much that are really even needed on here. Like I wouldn't really use a lot of features that are on here. But it's pretty good. It's free and you don't have to pay for it. So that's what I like about this, and it gets the job done pretty nice. The format you probably want to change it to, if you have to change it, if you're on Windows, what you want to change it to is probably MOV, H.264, AVC, and ACC/LC for the audio format. You could check the different ones out, but since you don't really have a Mac, you just leave it as ACC/LC. So leave it as that. And you can change it to pretty much any format you want. But like I said, if you're going to have to change it, you might having some problem with the audio a little bit or something. You might want to, in your editing software, if you're having problems before you throw it into your editing software, then you're probably going to still have problems. But if you're having problems inside just the editing software itself, you might want to change it to something like MOV. Like if you have AVI or WMV, which is Windows Media Player Video File, and AVI, I don't know what AVI stands for, but AVI is a popular format that Windows likes. So that's and that's what a lot of people will see, and what most people will be used to is AVI files. And there's MPEG files too, but I don't really get into that too much because I don't really mess around with that. I just mess around with either AVI, WMV, or MOV files. So I just mess around with those three formats. So, and right now, since I've been on a Mac, and I've been on a Mac for a while, for almost 3 years now, I've been using a Mac, and I've been messing around with MOV files. I also think that they also work better for Windows, even though Windows does like WMV because it's a Windows Media Player file. I think MOV works a lot better, because if you're using something like Adobe Premiere Pro, I think that one comes in a lot better if you have MOV on even on Windows, or even on, well, of course, Mac. MOV works best on that. But if you're having Windows and you're having a little bit of problem with your audio, just try putting in MOV and what you see here. And then down here on the video scale, change it to either 1280 by 720 or 1920 by 1080. But since this is okay, 1280 by 720, basic, lowest quality HD is alright. I do a lot of my tutorials in this because I don't want my files to come into a gig size, especially when I do a lot of my tutorials in like 20 to 30 minutes. I don't really want to mess around with that too much, anything higher. But Blu-ray quality is 1920 by 1080, so that's Blu-ray quality size. And this is regular HD quality size, 1280 by 720. And then you can mess around with this, check high quality. You can check that. It'll tell you improve the render quality. However, this might double the time. It might take a while, so you're going to have to, if you're trying to convert any of your files, try doing this overnight while you're sleeping or something, especially if you're using Windows. And especially if you don't have a Windows, maybe that's on 64-bit, you might have a Windows that's probably on 32-bit. It might take a long time, depending on how much RAM you have. If you don't have anything higher than 4 GB of RAM, Or if you're someone like me, I'm running both Mac and Windows side by side, so it's probably going to take me a while, and I'm not going to actually convert it since I already have a file that's in the format that I want, and it's pretty much similar to what I'm doing right here. And you want it in top quality, you could have that. It just might take a while. You're just going to have to be patient depending on how long it is. So like this is like 2 minutes. It still might take a while, especially for one. I only have a gig assigned to my Windows side on my Mac, which is on Parallels. So it might take a while. So that's another reason why I ain't going to get into it. But I'm just going to show you what formats to put it in. So there's that, okay? And then sampling frequency, leave it on 44/100. On channels, leave it on 2. Bit rate, you could change this. A good one is 96 or 128. Either 96 or 128. Try putting it in one of those. Bit rate. Okay, and then what you're going to do is you're going to drag your file on there. And then you're going to go to encode, and it'll put it into the format you want. Also, make sure that on the frames per second, make sure it's on 25. It should be 24, but since 24 is not on here, and I think 25 and 24 are pretty much the same, just put it on 25. You could try 23.976. Try that maybe. They're pretty close to 24. And what I mean by 24 frames per second is that's what most movies are shot in. So if you're doing something like movies, shooting anything on your camera or whatever, and it has different formats, you're going to want to make sure it's on 24 frames per second. So like if you right click here, go to properties on your format that you're going to convert, go to details, and it'll show you what it is. And like mine, it already in the format that I want it. It's a 1920 by 1080 Blu-ray quality size. Then data rate, you don't really need to worry about that too much. Frame rate, 23 frames. You might want to, like I said, do this one, 23.976. It's actually 24 frames per second, but when I have it on my computer, it's reading it as 23 frames per second. But 24, 25, somewhere around there, just either 23 or 25, whichever one. You might, since this says 23, I'll just put it as 23.976. So that's what it's reading it as. Audio sample rate 48. So it's 12. Oh, you can change this. Yeah, right here it's on 1539. So you want to go down to here, and okay, it'll go to 1584.36. Okay, right around there. Bit rate. Okay, it's pretty close to this. Okay, and then and all we're gonna do, if it was an AVI, you would everything the same on the width, or because if you try stretching it out, if it's like not in HD quality, it might look a little funny. So if it's not in HD quality already, you're probably it's gonna be distorted if you stretch it out to HD quality size. So make sure you get a file that's already in HD quality size. You can make it a tad bit bigger by trying to put it in Blu-ray quality size, but it might take a lot longer to render it out or export it, whatever, and code it out to the format that you want. But like I said, MOV is going to be the best. Default H.264, it's good for the internet. If you're trying to, and make sure all your video formats are all the same. So if you change one to MOV, change all the files you're going to be editing with to MOV. Because if you edit with MOV, and then you edit with WMV, then you edit one with AVI, then you edit one with WMPEG or something like that, then you're going to have problems in your editing software. It just won't read them correctly. It's easier to work with everything that's all the same. So keep all the formats the same. Frame rates pretty close to the same, and you won't have too much problems with audio, or you want to, because you're going to have a lot of problems if you're mixing audio formats, you're mixing video formats, and they're not all the same. Yeah, they might be the same in quality, but they're all not the same if they're not, and all of them are not in MOV, and all of them are not in WMV, and all of them are not in AVI. So keep them all the same, okay? And for everyone that's using Windows, change it to MOV if you're having any problems only in the editing software you're using. If you're having problems before that, try doing this. Try getting a codec. Okay, we're gonna go to here. Go to all programs. Okay, and in my all programs, I have a codec, the XVID. I'll put that in the description. I did a video, Sony Vegas, the newest tutorial that I did in Sony Vegas, which is on Sony Vegas 11 when it first came out. I showed you how to download XVID codec and the codec pack, different ones. You can search for those in Google. I'll put a link in the description on this video since it's more. This tutorial is more like on video formats and codecs and stuff. So I'll put it in this video. You can check it out. The XVID, it's for those people who are having problems, codec problems. Your audio's not showing up. Your video's not showing up, whichever one. So this might help you to fix that. And the codec pack. I don't have the codec pack on here right now because I don't really need it. But you might need it. You might. So that's that. And then you click encode when you're done, and it'll put it out to the format that you want. And down here, I'll show you different formats it comes with. But I'll put a link in the description to a site that has different free ones that might work the same as this one. This is the one that I've tried so far, and it works really, really nice because a bunch of the other ones that I've tried, you had to pay for them, and they didn't really get the job done. And this one actually gets the job done that I need, and it's for free. And I think it's better to not even pay for something like this because I think it's kind of bogus and it's kind of stupid. All you're doing is just wanting to change the file format. Why do you need to pay just to change the file format? Because you need to change file formats, and because every editing software reads things differently. Some don't like MOV, some don't like AVI, some don't like WMV. But I know MOV is accepted by a lot of editing software because MOV is pretty good for editing. Because a lot of people, a lot of top editors, and a lot of movie makers, they use Mac as their editing type computer to do their editing on, like Final Cut. They use Final Cut, or they use Avid. Avid is also for Windows, but a lot of people who do their editing, they use a Mac to do it on. Because Macs, I don't want to be mean to anybody who has Windows, but Mac is like a tad bit up there better than Windows, and it doesn't really have any lagging issues or whatever. But Windows, it can hold its own when it can if you have a good RAM on there. If you have like 4 gigabytes or more. Like I say 8 gigabytes would be best for someone who wants to edit in Windows. 8 gigabytes of RAM and a good video card, it would do really, really nice. Like if you have something like Alienware computer that's running Windows, that does really good for gaming. It'll also do pretty good for editing if you're messing around with a computer like that. Because Alien computers, they not really good software, like video the stuff with them, so it comes out really nice, and you can edit with that. If you want to edit in Windows, it would be best, but if you don't, try and get 8 gigabytes RAM. It might help you some in editing, but 4 gigabytes, you might get away with it to do something with Sony Vegas or something like that. But if you have 2 gigabytes or less, you probably shouldn't even be trying to edit anything, because a lot of editing software, they like to use a lot of RAM. And 4 gigabytes is cutting it a little too close, especially on a Windows computer. On a Mac, 4 gigabytes is alright to mess around with when you have Final Cut or something like that. So that's that on Windows. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to get out of this and show you the one for Mac. I'll put a link in the description for a site for this for everyone who has Windows. The one on Mac is MPEG Streamclip, the one that I use. So I'm going to open this up. Okay, give it a second. Okay, there it goes. Okay, and what you do, whatever file you want to convert, you're going to throw it in here. Okay, drag it on into there. And then what you're going to do is you're going to go to here where it says File. And I don't really mess around with any of these other files, especially AVI. If you're messing around with AVI, then you shouldn't even be using a Mac. So just go to Export to QuickTime. Unless you want to change your AVI files to MOV. Don't change your MOV files, say AVI, because that's stupid. Unless you want to edit in Windows. But I would say if you have a Mac, why would you want to edit in Windows to begin with? I think it's better to edit on a Mac if you already have a Mac. I wouldn't even really suggest using Sony Vegas if you have a Mac. And want to go, even though if you had Windows and you want to use Sony Vegas on your Mac, because you can, by Parallels Desktop, have Sony Vegas on your Mac, as long as you have Parallels Desktop. But I suggest trying to learn Final Cut Pro, either, I would say Final Cut Pro 7 or Final Cut X or Avid or Adobe Premiere. I'll say Adobe Premiere Pro or Final Cut Pro 7 would be best to use if you have a Mac for editing. And then, okay, H.264, you might want to put it, maybe even, you might want to put an HD 1080 60i or 1080 24p. Put it in that. Put all your files in that. And then later on, change it to like H.264 when if you're like in Final Cut, export it to H.264 later on. Or you could do that already if you want. Here's why I would probably suggest 1080 by 24p, because that's what it already is right now from my camera. When I took it off my camera, that's what I put it in, filmed it in anyways. So keep it all the same. Even on your Mac, keep everything all the same, all the formats. Especially for like Final Cut, it'll start having problems and you might get errors or something. Just keep everything the same. Doesn't matter what platform you're using, Mac or Windows, keep everything all the same. And make sure, and if you want to, on your Mac, if you want to see what format it's in, right click on it, go to Get Info, and it'll show you what it's in. It should say name and extension. It should show you down there. Dimensions, more info. Dimensions, 1920 by 1080. Codecs, H.264. Okay. Duration, 2 minutes and 44 seconds, not 200. Okay. Audio channel, 2. Okay. So that's what it's in. Kind is a QuickTime movie. Tells you all that. And keep all your files pretty much the same. And that's it. What you do, and then you go to File. We're going to export this to whatever we want. Boom, boom. If you want it Blu-ray quality, put it to that. If you want it regular HD, put it to that. Best 2 options I would choose. Anything would just distort it, make it look like crap. Anything other than these last 2 right here. And then go to Make Movie. I ain't going to do it because since I already have it in the format already like that. That's it for that, and that's it on this tutorial, showing you a little bit about formats and everything on that a little bit. If you find this tutorial useful and it helped you out in understanding formats a little bit, how to edit different formats, which you could do with them a little bit. That's it. See you later. Check out my website, pixelpocketmedia.com. That's my website. I do a lot of tutorials and I put them on my website in a neat, organized fashion on my website. I got a section for that on my website. Then I got a section where I do some music remixes and stuff, my own beats and whatever I do with music. I got a section for that on my website. So check out my website. I also got a forums on my website. I don't really have much there, but I'm going to be soon. I'm going to be putting a lot of stuff on there. In the next couple of weeks, I'm going to be adding a lot of information on there, like different kinds of tutorials. Like I'm going to take screenshots and do like screenshot tutorials, like ones that are not videos. They're just screenshot quick tutorials, just quick small tutorials that I'm going to put on my forums for people to check out. And I'm going to change the security on there because I think it's kind of hard for people to get on there. You have to ask me to get accepted to be on my forum. The reason why I made it so hard to get on my forums is because I was getting a lot of spam to the point where I was getting like porn spam, and it was like getting on my nerves, and it like messed up my AdSense on my website, so I got it disabled. So I fixed that problem, and now it's hard for people to actually register. Well, they can register on there. They just won't get accepted until I accept them. And people haven't been emailing me or asking me to get accepted or whatever. So I'm just gonna make it change it up a little bit, make it easier for people to get accepted. but I'm going to try and figure out a way to still block out the spam that I get on there, because a lot of things that I get on my website is a lot of spam, so I don't like that. So that's why I made it hard for people to get on my forums. But anyways, also check out my second channel, Spinock. That channel I do random videos. I do parody videos sometimes. A lot of times I really do parodies on that channel. I do like tributes to my favorite song. I just changed the lyrics a little bit. I'm not really much of a singer, but I'm much of a more of a person who does his own beats. But I really like music, and so I play around with doing different things with music a little bit. And then I do random videos of like sometimes I'll do movie reviews or skit videos, comedy videos, whatever comes to my mind on that channel. And then on my third channel that I have is it's a gaming channel, and I've done I started on doing the game Aladdin, then I started doing the classic game Aladdin, then I started doing Spyro the Dragon, the old game, that first one that came out for the PlayStation. I did a gameplay video on that, but I haven't really finished doing the whole game yet because I got tired of it a little bit. I wanted to do a little bit of the new game, so I started doing Modern Warfare. So I have 2 on that so far. So I'm going to be doing a lot more gameplay videos to like classic games and new games, but mostly games that people don't really do much gameplay videos on, because I want to be a little different. And I might be doing like some gaming reviews, like reviews to like different games. So I might be doing that later on to some new games. So if you've got any suggestions or whatever, just let me know. And that's it. See you later. Until next time, my next tutorial or next video, whatever I put on my channel. And that's it. See you later. And that's it.
Come.